Hey, we're here to talk a little bit about USP structural connectors. Recently, UBS just brought USP on board as their preferred hanger line. So the purpose of these trainings will to get you up to speed as quickly as possible with USP. I think you'll find there are a lot of similarities with what you're used to, but there's also a lot of cool innovations and changes that I think make your jobs easier and more support for your customer that will help increase sales and support for the hanger line. Um, that's just an image of our new iPad app, which I thought was pretty cool. It just came out. That's online. The real story about all these changes in the past year that have come aboard about is because of this company, which is MyTech, which acquired us in March of 2011. But I'm showing you this history because it's actually kind of a good way to learn why there are really only two players out there in the hanger market and the depth of product line that USP has and why. Essentially, USP started in 1954 as Can't Sag. That's a name I know. Maybe some of you guys are old enough to know that name, and it was pretty preeminent here in the East um, several years ago. The following companies, or all companies that were bought along the line, um, by initially Can't Sag down here, and then we became USP in 1995, and then continued acquiring these companies. But most importantly, we were just bought by MyTech in March of 2011, which brought aboard Hardy Frames and Zone 4, which we'll talk about in future trainings. This acquisition has meant a huge shift in the hanger business and as far as what we're going to be able to offer for solutions in the future for builders and lumber yards. MyTech is owned by Berkshire Hathaway, which is run by this man here, Warren Buffett, which some guys may know who that is, and that whole background of Berkshire Hathaway and its history of picking companies and what it can offer to them to help them, be everything they need to be, kind of thing, is really a true story. I'm here to kind of testify to that. I'm one of the reps. I've been with the company for 10 years, and there's been more changes in the past year than all the 10 that I've been along, so it's been pretty exciting. Our line here, as has existed for the past several years, is continuing to grow, but here just to show you that we have everything that the competitor would offer and some extra stuff as well. There's a couple more slides to show, but for example, this is a proprietary. This is Gold Coat, which is a great product for corrosion resistance, but also just aesthetically for looks. It's a pretty good solution, and it's a very inexpensive solution relative to, say, a stainless steel solution, which is we offer also available. We make available, but it's an interesting product. Of course, epoxies, and we've got fastening systems that tie into this whole kind of new way of building, which we've done in the past few years because of code changes. Essentially, it's called continual load path, the concept that your building really needs to be connected level to level, from literally the top to the bottom. And there are many products that help get that done, in addition, of course, to the way we build here, and we've always built well here in the East. Plywood does a lot to get this stuff done, but with code changes and especially coastal building, there is need for some extra metal in the project, and that's kind of where we come along here. The Hardy frame is a prefabricated steel frame, and it's done in several versions. That's called a moment frame, and that's a steel brace frame, and this is a shear panel. It shows different applications of that. We've got a threaded rod system, which we'll talk a little bit more about in other trainings, but It has a take-up device which is needed for thread rod systems that's unparalleled in the industry. It's very slick, it's very easy, and effective to work with. Our anchoring systems, we're using a Powers wedge bolt to compete with, which some may be familiar with the Titan system. We've got undercut anchors for which are used commercially, especially for overhead applications. A partnership with FastenMaster on their line of specialized screws and fasteners. We have our epoxy line, which is become more used because of code, more used because of the code requirements. The company itself, we started out here in Montgomery. We're manufacturing these red stars, which show manufacturing centers, okay, and the black stars, which show distribution centers. The way that we're distributing our product kind of shows this red area, which is what we're talking about here. Anything in this red area from our New Jersey warehouse would get there the next day on our FedEx freight line. So essentially, if you have a prepaid order, you'll be able to, a prepaid freight order that makes freight, you'll be able to get it essentially the following day. If it's ordered, early in the day beforehand, you'll have it delivered the following day. Support in the area this is a snapshot of currently what we've got for people on the ground, and this is, I can tell you already, is dramatically increasing just in the past few weeks. This shows USP staff and MyTech staff as well. We've got so far, and I can tell you the number's a lot bigger than this right now, but 40 people in the field, but more importantly, over 100 engineers and technical support people available by phone in the different centers in the country to answer your questions. So I want to talk more about physically the product and how to use it in the next tutorial, but I wanted to kind of let you know that the USP itself is it's not your father's USP. There's quite a few changes in the past year, which I'm pretty excited about, and I want to be able to show you what it's going to mean to you in the next series of tutorials. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you in a little bit.